Okay, so it is the third chapter of your history textbook, that is religious synthesis. As I said, in this chapter, we are going to learn the contribution of various sons for the to bring about religious harmony in the society. We'll study about all of them in this chapter. So the first thing that emerged was the Bhakti movement. Now, Bhakti movement means it is a trend that was brought forward by a number of Hindu sons. Okay, to give the feeling, to bring the promote the feeling of devotion among the people. And Bhakti movement, it followed. It had the values of love for God, humanity, compassion, mercy. All these values were to the people, or else what people used to do, people used to blindly believe. But what happened, the Bhakti movement, people started coming, they started trusting God, they came to know that God is there. Everyone should love God, everyone should have a feeling of humanity means to treat all the human beings equal. Then the feeling of compassion and mercy, all this was prevailed during this time, that is in the Bhakti movement. And what is Bhakti movement? It is a devotion, it is a trend that was brought by many Hindu sons. Okay, now when we see the chapter, we will see how different sons had started the Bhakti movement and their contribution to Bhakti movement. And Bhakti movement, it used the language of common people, so that people came to know in their language what was right and what was wrong. Before that, if it was written only in Sanskrit, and people did not understand Sanskrit. So what happened? Anyone, they could tell the third person anything. Okay, and they could loot the people in the name of faith. But what happened in the Bhakti movement? The Bhakti movement started making use of common people language. Okay, instead of what? Sanskrit. And this helped to develop the regional languages. That is, as you all name, different languages of India. In this way, there were different languages, development of different regional languages in India. Let us see what was the Bhakti movement and where it originated. I want someone to read this. Soham.
Yes, teacher.
There's a lot of disturbance from your side. You can mute. Iram.
Teacher.
Yes. Read about the movement.
Yes. Bhakti movement. It's originated in South India. Second point. The Nayanar and the Alvar. Bhakti movement emerged in the region. Third point. Harrier idol depicting half Vishnu and half Shiva were also produced during this period. Fourth point. Ramanju and other acharyas strengthened the base of Bhakti movement. 6 point. They told the people that God is for all. Saint Ramanan strengthened the Bhakti movement in the north.
Yes. The Bhakti movement started. The Bhakti movement had originated. That means it started in South India. What are the regions of South India? It consists of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. So Bhakti movement, it originated in South India, and the Nayanar and the Alvar Bhakti movement. This was the Bhakti movement that emerged in this region. Okay, now let me tell you what is the Nayanar and the Alvar. Now the Nayanar, they were devotees of Lord Shiva. That means they used to worship Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva was their idol, of whose? The Nayanars. While the Alvars, they were devotees of Lord Krishna. So these were the two religions which people were following in the Bhakti movement. Few were the devotees of Lord Shiva, that is, they used to worship Lord Shiva, whereas the Alvars, they were devotees of Lord Vishnu. They were following Lord Vishnu, believing in Lord Vishnu. And there were also attempts made to consider Shiva and Vishnu as one, and that is the Harrier idol. Okay, so what is the Harihar idol? A Harihar idol depicts Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, as well as Lord Shiva. That is, we can see the statue. I'll show you the image also after this slide. It depicts a statue in which there is half Lord Shiva. The statue is made of half Shiva and half Vishnu, and these are the Harihar idols. And during that period, it was produced on a large scale because every person has their own choice in of religion. That is why now some used to believe and trust in Lord Vishnu, while some were devotees of Lord Shiva, while there were also some who believed in both, and they used to follow which idol? Harihar idol. Harihar idol was depicting the statue of Lord Vishnu as well as of Lord Shiva. And people who were participating in this bhakti movement, they followed the values, as I already told you, the values of love, of humanity, the love towards one another, a feeling of compassion, mercy. All this was prevailing during that time. And who were the ones who strengthened the base of the bhakti movement? It was Ramanuja and the other acharyas. They had strengthened the bhakti movement. And your people were told, they told the people that God is for all. What these acharyas did, they started telling that God is not just for the higher class or the rich or the landlords, but God is equal to you all. Okay, everyone has the right to love their God and worship the God. There is no difference between the rich and the poor when it comes to God. Okay, so they gave the idea that God is one, and they told the people that they started telling the people that God does not discriminate on the basis of caste and religion. And that is why, because of their contribution, everyone started following the Bhakti movement. Who strengthened the Bhakti movement in North India? It was Sant Ramanand. Okay, in the North India, Sant Ramanand, he strengthened the Bhakti movement. This, see, you can see this image. This is the Nainar who were worshipping Lord Shiva, and this is the Alvar who were worshipping Lord Vishnu, and this is the Harihar idol. As I said, there were people who were worshipping both the gods, that is Vishnu as well as Shiva. Okay, and these are the people marching on the Bhakti movement and spreading the word of God, telling everyone, all the people of the villages, that God is one and God does not discriminate anyone on the basis of their caste and religion. Now let us see the contribution of different sons. As I told you, for the Bhakti movement, there were many sons who came forward and strengthened the Bhakti movement. Okay, we will see few of the sons who strengthened the Bhakti movement. First is Sant Kabir. Okay, you all must have heard about Sant Kabir. He is a well-known sant in the Bhakti movement. Okay, and he did not. He said that truth was God. For him, what was God? Truth. Everyone used to speak the truth. For him, that was God. He did not believe in idols or going to pilgrimages or keeping vrats and okay. For him, what he thought, this is just worldly things. Okay, people do all this thing to show off. That was according to him. And what he used to believe, that only truth was God. When people used to know, when people only speak the truth, okay, he considers themselves as God. The people, he did not like all the blind belief which was going on. Some people used to read the holy books, but what they used to do, they used to come and tell the other people all the wrong things. That is why Sant Kabir only believed in truth. For him, truth was God and all human beings equal. He did not believe in differences based on caste, creed, religion. He did not have that feeling that only this caste is superior and this caste is lower. No, he believed in equality. He did not believe in the caste system. He wanted, in fact, he wanted to bring the Hindu Muslim unity. Now we know at that point of time there used to be fights between the caste. There was caste system prevailing, so there was no unity among the Hindu and Muslim community. But what Sant Kabir did was, he wanted to bring the unity among the Hindu and Muslim community. And that is why he also criticized the extremely orthodox people. Orthodox people means who used to think only my religion is great and the other is of low caste. No, he was completely against those people who were who were only putting their religion on the top. And what he did, he only wanted to bring unity among all the people. This was about Kabir and his teachings. Then let us see the other sons who came forward. In Bengal, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave importance to Krishna Bhakti. What he started following about Krishna Bhakti. Now we saw they were devotees of Lord Vishnu, they were devotees of Lord Shiva. Then Sant Kabir, he believed only in truth. Okay. And in Bengal, what happened? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave importance to Krishna Bhakti. That means he was a devotee of Lord Krishna. Then Shankara Deva, he spread the Bhakti movement in okay. In this way we can see now that how the Bhakti movement was spread in different regions of India. Okay, where in Bengal, who promoted Bhakti movement, who started the Bhakti movement, it was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Shankara Deva, he spread the Bhakti movement in which state? In the state of. Then there was Narsi Mehta, he was a sant in Gujarati. Okay, and he was also the first poet of language. That means and he was also a very ardent devotee of Lord Krishna. He also gave the message of equality to the people, and that is why he's written many poems also. In which language? In their regional language, that is in Gujarati. Then there was Sant Mirabai. She also stressed on the importance to devotion of Krishna. She was also a devotee of Krishna, but you know, she was a very rich person. Okay, she belonged to a very rich family. But what she did, she renounced all that pleasures. That is, she gave away all the thing of the royal family. Now means she was a princess of the princess in where which place she was in Mewad. Okay, she belonged to the royal family of Mewad. But what she did there, they did not have the feeling of worshipping and all. There they used to only think that they are of higher caste, they are rich and others are low. But what she did, that is why she left her family. She means left her family, and she came and she became a bhakt of Lord Krishna. She became a devotee of Lord Krishna, and in this way she has also written many devotional verses, okay, in Rajasthani as well as Gujarati. Now see, in this way we have seen how the it started where it had started in South India, but slowly and slowly it started spreading to different states of India. And as I said, what happened in the Bhakti movement? Every sant, every acharya, they started writing in the regional languages of the common people. And in the sea, as I told you, in Bengal, it was written. The sons, they started writing in Bengali. In Gujarat, it was written in Gujarati. In this way, it was written in different languages, in the languages of the common people, and this helped the people to understand, to have a better understanding about God, what is humanity, what are its values, and so on. In this way, the Bhakti movement was spreading continuously. Okay, have you all understood till here? Okay, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had started the Bhakti movement in Bengal. Then this was Shankara Deva, started the Bhakti movement in Assam. Then about Surdasa, he had written the Sur Sagar. And Sant Mirabai, we know she had left, she had renounced all her pleasures of the royal family and became a devotee of Lord Krishna. Now the next is Sri Basaveshwar. Who will read this for me? Sai Mahadik.
Yes, teacher.
Read this.
Now she.
Put in a quiet place. Okay, we have seen now in different regions, there were different sons who had started with the Bhakti movement. So in Karnataka, who had spread the Lingayat thought, that is about the Hindu sect, about worshipping them. It was Sri Basaveshwar, and he had opposed the caste system. He stressed on the dignity of labor. That is, he gave importance to all the common people when they are working. He did not like that the higher caste people used to only sit in palaces, whereas the lower caste, they used to be very much ill treated. So for him, what was the main thing? He had focused on dignity of labor. All the laborers, everyone should get equal importance. And he also wrote everything in the language of the common people. That is The language, in which language we know in Karnataka, which language is used? Kannada. So he told all his teachings in the language of Kannada so that the common people could easily understand what is the reality and what are his teachings. And his followers, people, there were many followers who started following him. And those followers, they have written in their languages too. That is, his works are also written in Marathi. Okay, and of this composition, that is of the Marathi composition, Paramarahasya, which is composed by Manmat Swami, is also very well known. Then the next, Chakradhar Swami. Who will read this? Khushi Dongre.
Hello, teacher.
Yes, Khushi, read this.
In the 13th century, Chakradhar Swami founded the Mahanubhav Path in Maharashtra. Yes, teacher.
Yes, Mahanubhav Pant.
Mahanubhav Panth in Maharashtra. This sect preaches devotion to Krishna. Sri Govind Prabhu was the guru of Chakradhar Swami. He supported equality. He traveled to all parts of Maharashtra and preached Marathi instead of Sanskrit. Riddhi Prabhu in
Riddhipur and Vidarbha.
Riddhipur in Vidarbha is an important place for people of this sect.
Till now, we had seen that the Bhakti movement, it was following, it had started from South India and it was continuously spreading to different regions. We saw that in Assam, there was a sant, then in Bengal, okay, in this way it was spreading. Then in Maharashtra, who started it in Maharashtra? It was founded by Chakradhar Swami, and he had written the Mahanubhav Panth. What is the Mahanubhav Panth? It preaches the devotion to Lord Krishna. Okay, this sect, it preaches devotion to Lord Krishna. And who was the guru? And Chakradhar Swami was the follower of Govind Prabhu. That is, Govind Prabhu was his follower. And his followers, he supported equality. That is, his followers, the followers of Chakradhar Swami, it included men and women belonging from all caste and creed. He did not believe, he did not have the thing of religious, that only this religion people will go, or only men's are superior and women's are of less superior. He believed in equality. For him, both all the human beings were equal. And what he did, he had started it in Maharashtra. So he traveled to all parts of Maharashtra. Okay, now we all live in Maharashtra. You know what are the different regions in Maharashtra. Okay, so he traveled to all parts of Maharashtra and he started speaking Marathi. Okay, that is our language, right? Maharashtra. So he started preaching in Marathi. In this way, you can see how the languages in different states had started. Okay, it was at that point of time, with the contribution of these sons, that different languages had started spoken in that particular state, because the people of that state only understood their languages. Okay, in this way also in Maharashtra, he started speaking in Marathi. That is, it was the common language of the people staying in Maharashtra. And what he did, people earlier, they used to speak only in Sanskrit, but what he did, he started speaking in Marathi, and his many works are also composed in the language of Marathi. And this sect, it has spread in Vidarbha and the Marathwada region of Maharashtra. And Riddhipur, which is in the Vidarbha, it is a very important place for people of this sect. And this sect now, it has also spread and reached to all the corners of Maharashtra. Okay, in this way, this is about the Chakradhar Swami in Marathi language, that is for the state of. Then the next is Guru Nanak. Okay, now you all must have heard, you all must be knowing about Guru Nanak. Let us see about Guru Nanak's contribution. Who will read this? Honey Shukla?
Yes.
Yes.
This will start.